You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Black Box After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Black Box After Show.
I'm feeling the love here tonight. Thank you for joining us here for the after show of ABC's Black Box. I'm your host, Mindy Thomas. I hope you're having a great night tonight. And joining me, my co-host here in the studio tonight, Teresa Law.
Hey, everyone.
And also Jade Howard.
Hello, everyone.
I'm feeling like I should have a radio voice with this
Right?
wonderful music here.
And a good drink.
So we're going to get right into it here. We're here to have a good time tonight. And let's get right into this episode of Who Are You? Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
The mysterious question of the night.
All right, let's get into it. So, Teresa, tell me, what part of the show stood out to you?
I don't think there was any part, but I just thought this was the strongest episode to date. I really like seeing the character development and Dr. Black's relationship with Will and with Dr. Bickman develop. And I thought the Patient of the Week stories were really fascinating. I learned a lot. Never knew about Capgras delusion or the whole test that they were doing. So that was really fascinating.
Very well.
And I thought it was a funny episode too. There was a lot of just great moments. Ali Wong, I really liked her in this episode. And I don't know, I keep just really getting to like Kelly Riley a lot more.
Oh my goodness.
I wish she was my doctor.
Yeah, really.
I know, right?
How about her for a specialist? That would be great. Now, Jade, what are you thinking after having seen the show and the ups and downs? Hot off the press here. What are your immediate thoughts?
I think this was definitely the best episode so far. And I know it's only the third episode and the other two were also really good, but this one by far I think was the best one because you really saw the characters develop and I think you really wondered more afterwards. You don't really know what to predict or where it's going to go. You can't really determine the direction of it. And I think that was a good way to really keep you captivated and wanting to see the next episode.
Very good. Yes, Dr. Catherine Black played by Kelly Riley, a neuroscientist. Just a fresh reminder, she secretly suffers with bipolar, which is a chemical imbalance, and she has these manic depression, which is another name for bipolar episodes. So tonight, she didn't really seem to go off on any dancing tangents much. She almost did at one point, which I kind of get into those.
She was good this episode.
Yeah, she was really good.
So sometimes, there can be mixed episodes and they can last a long time. So I am totally enjoying this TV show that dares to explore various mental health challenges. That's part of why I'm so into it. Now, just to share with everybody at home, you can tune into iTunes, and I want you to rate the show that you're watching now with us.
5 stars.
Okay, give us a review. They're saying 5 stars, so bring it on in, and we want to hear from you. We're going to tell you how to keep in touch with us on Twitter as well, because we want you to tweet, tell us your thoughts, and let's make this an interactive thing, because after all, it is very, very interesting. Now, Catherine wakes up at the beginning of the show to breakfast in bed along with her meds. Do you recall this?
Yes.
Will says, you don't deserve this, essentially, because of her unfaithfulness in San Francisco. Now, from there, they have a discussion about the meds, and also, Will is very forthcoming with some information about Delilah.
Who is Delilah?
Delilah was the hostess at the restaurant. And
She's actually played by Rachel Brosnahan, who is also in House of Cards, as some of you may know.
I knew that was a familiar face.
I'm a big fan.
I knew it. I like her. Okay.
Yeah, she always plays the other woman. It seems
She's always the one that's stirring the pot.
totally.
She's always stirring the pot.
Well, she was definitely stirring a pot after we found out. Lo and behold, Will retaliated something fierce, and there was some revenge there. What do you think about that in his character?
He had an affair or a one-night stand. He claims it was a one-night stand, but
We find out later that it was more than that
exactly.
from Delilah.
Exactly. So this is getting heated up, and we're wondering, all right, so score is 1-1 at this point.
They're even.
Well, my issue with the whole thing is it shouldn't be a competition.
Okay.
And to Dr. Black's credit, she did it unknowingly because she was on her meds.
Off her
he did it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she was off her meds. And he did it deliberately to get back at her. So,
So then throughout the night, we saw that sort of unfold. The question was, why did he do that? And yeah, you're exactly right. She seems somewhat more noble in her betrayal.
Yeah, if there is such
If there's
thing.
such a thing, I can justify why I cheated on you. Where his was really just to get back at her, and I think that was really. That's not what you do with somebody that you're saying that you want to spend the rest of your life with and commit to. And you know that this person is bipolar, so she does things that she can't help, and she let him know, I get hypersexual. So it's not something that she really did
Right.
with the intention to hurt him.
Yeah, and what I'm finding is Kelly Riley is so believable. I mean, she can hit these emotional notes. She's
great.
I mean, an incredible actress to
Yes.
watch. This is some challenging stuff when you're talking about the organ of the brain and how it works, and bringing sort of awareness to all of what can be going on in the inside.
And just a side note, I looked up on IMDb, and Rachel Brosnahan is actually in, I think, about 5 episodes. So she's going to be a recurring character.
So this wasn't just a one-time thing then.
No, she's going to be stirring up trouble.
Oh my!
Couple episodes,
Rachel.
so we'll see how that
It
unfolds.
got a little cray, if I may say.
Cray cray.
With the smoothie?
Right.
Oh yes, because so do you think she was stalking her at her job?
I do.
Dr. Black?
It just happened to be there.
Yeah.
At the food truck?
It's not
just
looking good.
Getting
No.
lunch, and she pushed her buttons though. She
Knew exactly what to say to get her to.
and she was holding her plate of food and her smoothie, and she just like knocks it off.
She says, maybe I am crazy.
And you were like, maybe you are. And she's on her meds this time, and she still can get, as you'd say, cray cray. So
Which caused the conflict later on then when Will had already talked to the hostess with the
Right.
mostess.
Because he took her side.
Yes.
He took the side
He didn't
chicks.
believe
The side
what
piece
Catherine-
aside. Like, what? No. She's like, wait a minute. You're trying to marry me. You're not. Wait, hold on. No.
Yeah, and then he came full circle, and then, well, she decides to eventually accept his proposal. This is really huge. So
That was big.
she sees that he's committed, and she puts the ring on her finger.
I didn't think she was going to come around that soon.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like a season finale type of thing where she says, okay, fine, I'll marry you now. But
I don't think it's
time-
going to be that easy.
I know, no.
Something
There's
is
no way. Their
brewing,
relationship
especially with-
is not functional. Is purely dysfunctional. I think we can all agree to that.
Yeah.
It's
And how does she have time for for all of this going on when she's a doctor?
I know.
And
Shouldn't she be at the cube right now? Shouldn't be worried about your man cheating on you. You should be like saving lives.
And speaking of the cube, Esme came to the cube. Reagan decides to break off the
Ban.
the ban.
the embargo.
And so then there's a film that they're working on for Esme's school, I believe.
About her
And
family.
so then this was a fascinating storyline because Esme is discovering all these various attributes about her so-called cool aunt while she's at work, and she's interviewing the other professionals. And yet Reagan's putting a stomp down. She says, "Yeah, I'm lifting the ban, but you better make sure that Esme knows that that I'm the mother.
Right.
You better seal the deal here." And so there's a lot of intensity merging with those relationships as well.
And Dr.
Definitely.
Black does hold up to her end of the bargain.
She does.
They really, the two of them, Dr. Black and Esme, have an emotional moment where Dr. Black's like, well, listen to me, you know, she is your mom. I was there watching her, you know, nurture you growing up. So don't ever doubt that she's not your mom.
And I think that was a great way to hold up her end of the bargain. And you were waiting to see if she was going to, and she literally was just almost waiting for Esme to say something bad about her mom so that she could step in and let her know, look, no, your mother's a good woman. She loves you to pieces. Don't underestimate your mother's love like that. And I really think Esme listens to her aunt. So I think that was great because you know she's going to really respect what she has to say.
And that was really fascinating to see how Dr. Black's mother's love, the love of a mother biologically, is emerging in that moment to make sure that technically her biological daughter's sort of protected in this cocoon. Now that brings me to the awareness that, okay, this is a really big family secret happening. So how do you both feel about this family secret?
The family secret? I mean, this Esme is not going to take it very well when she finds out that her aunt is her mom and her.
And we're already seeing signs of that. I think with the rubber band snapping.
Okay. Yes, that was good.
We saw Esme do that and Reagan calling her out on that. And then Reagan, when she's watching the video, sees that Dr. Black was doing the same thing.
And that's
so
totally.
I think that's when she realized, you know what, Catherine's always going to be Esme's biological mother.
It's triggering that insecurity of, okay, when the rubber meets the road, I'm not her biological mother. And so that's coming out. It's going to have to be dealt with, it looks like, because the more she's shoving it down, the more that it's going to come out.
But I feel like the rubber band snapping was like a sign because I predicted that is Esme possibly going to also be bipolar? Like because Dr. Black's mother was bipolar. She's bipolar, and that's her biological daughter. So it seems
as about it being hereditary.
Right, hereditary. So when she was snapping the band, I felt like the mom's reaction was more in shock of, oh my gosh, Esme might also be bipolar. And I think that's to me that's what really that's to me what it symbolized. And that's what I was wondering. So I like your guys' take on it too, though.
Yeah.
Right. Now, and then also the brothers trying to reassure Reagan that, no, you are the mother.
You're the mom. You are the mama.
And they've really been through it. I mean, this is a lot of years. She's a teenager.
Yes.
But see, here's the thing. If the family secret comes out, in any family where a family secret has come out, I mean, we're talking that's going to create a trauma.
Oh, she's going to be traumatized because she feels as if she's been deceived this whole entire time.
And she's going to think back about that conversation the two of them had,
and
Dr.
it's gonna
Black and her.
She's not going to trust anybody. Exactly, you're right. I don't think she'll be able to really trust Dr. Black either. And she's going to she's going to feel everybody turned on her. She'll have nobody to turn to.
Well, yes, exactly. So we are looking at some of these characters developing, and we're looking at some of the other storylines as well. Some of the case studies were fascinating, as you pointed out, Teresa, earlier in the show. There was a patient that came in. She's pregnant. And
opera singer.
Bless her. I mean, you're thinking, oh my goodness, what's going to happen to the baby? Oh, she was an opera singer.
Yes.
Okay.
But that's the thing. She didn't need to be there. It's Dr. Bickman's fault as to why she was there, because apparently he's like a tabloid attention seeker. So he's always goes to like these really posh places where celebrities are, and he like saves the day. So he's like the Dr. Oz of like,
so egotistical,
neurosurgeon,
sort of borderline narcissistic.
Exactly. And then that's when the opera singer choked on something, and instead of doing the Heimlich maneuver, instead he does a tracheotomy
with a steak knife.
With a steak knife, and so then Dr. Bickman.
Yeah. No.
I was like, no, Dr. Bickman did that. Yeah. No. Also, who does that?
Yeah.
When you can just do a couple pumps there and get it out, But then she bumps her head, and so that's why she actually, and she's about 5 months pregnant.
Well, unfortunately,
got intense.
So then there was a scene in the operating room with Dr. Bickman and Dr. Pratt. And Dr. Pratt, is a OBGYN, and he's got 25 years seniority on...
Yes, he's the chief of obstetrics, and so he's overseeing all the OBGYNs in the department. So he's in this emergency case.
So he knows how to do his job. I think we can all safely assume that.
Right. But then they're arguing, and then
Dr. Bickman gets a little heated and violent. A little, you know, there's some
Very
aggressive tendencies
Yes,
showing up
very
during
much so.
surgery. I mean, we've got 2 lives on the line here, and he's acting out.
basically bullies Dr. Pratt out of the office or out of the operating room.
He kicks him out.
And calls him Nimrod, pug rat, and douche.
And then the doctor says, "I've never been treated this way in 25 years of doing this." So this is showing that he's got some character flaws here. They're showing up during surgery.
He's got an ego problem.
Okay, so yeah, so
It's
then
huge ego.
The expert is out of there. But then they page him back because they see this is an emergency situation.
And they do have to do a C-section.
Right, exactly. But he's not coming as quickly as they need. So then...
Who's going to save the day? Oh, no. I wonder who it's going to be.
Right. And, okay, so I love the line. He says, Dr. Bickman says, it's only childbirth, not a C-section. Or not brain surgery.
Not
I'm
brain
sorry.
surgery.
Yeah.
Yes. That was, if that doesn't make his character cocky, I don't know what does.
Exactly.
It's actually, I really like watching it. It's just hilarious.
I know. I love watching him have his moments because you always roll your eyes and think, oh, this guy again. But you love it. It's entertaining.
Yeah, he's going to get right in there and kind of get his way, it looks like. So so a neurosurgeon performs a C-section, and since I botched the line earlier, it's only childbirth, not brain surgery.
Yes.
There it is. Got it. That was a cool line.
That was
Loved
a great
it.
line. That was some good writing right there, for sure.
There's some excellent twists and turns. I mean, it's hard to know where things are really headed. So you're thinking about a lot of different things as you're watching it, and depending on where you're at, you could be following one storyline, thinking more about that than another, and so forth. So, okay, so what was your favorite scene tonight? Do you have a favorite scene that sort of stands out, or a favorite moment that you enjoyed during Black Box, 3rd episode?
I liked the subplot of them seeing if Dr. Bickman was a sociopath, psychopath. That I liked.
Yeah,
that was fun to see.
Ali Wong's character checking off.
All right, let's unpack that a little bit, because you've got the nurses that are kind of
everybody's joining in on it.
Checking him out, but then they're because they're interested in him, but they want to kind of know what makes him really tick.
Right? Yeah, and I loved watching Ali Wong just check things off. Oh, yep. There we go. There's another one. But then it turns out that he showed some compassion in some form, so then he wasn't considered one.
Well, the homeless shelter,
the homeless
volunteering
shelter
there,
that was some
gave him a lot of points.
Yeah, exactly. The Neighborhood Coalition homeless shelter, and that was where he was volunteering because he ends up knowing one of the patients that comes in, Mona, I believe.
Yep.
And so as he is talking to her, Dr. Catherine Black is in there, and she says, "Oh, tuberculosis." And so then she makes a discovery. So it's very fascinating how they're in tune with these sort of factoids as they're having
and they're sort of
in
tune with each other, and they kind of pick up on each other's vibes, and they're really in unison.
That's
and they
true.
both have, a history of going rogue and just, not following protocol and just going with their gut. So it's going to be interesting to see how that develops over the season.
Yes.
I can see how that's going to develop. That's for another. That's for predictions. So I'll hang tight on that.
Her case study was also very interesting because as she's looking down at this piece of paper, her brain is not able to process what's on the left side, and then on the right side, she's clearly able to see it, although some of the letters were still jumbled. So then she comes in later on. Okay, she's sort of got this stripe down her face.
That was crazy.
That gave me chills.
Because I couldn't imagine just her. She was half done. She had makeup, hair, outfit, shirt was tucked in on one side, untucked on the other. Hair was still wet and curly and just plain. And the way they did that and the makeup, so you could really see how put together she is on one side and disheveled she is on the other.
Yeah, just for the viewing audience at home. Now, I just want to interact with you a little bit. If you were watching that and she turned 40, I don't think that, you're going to have to worry about that necessarily on your 40th birthday. Because her daughter said, "Look, I don't think you should have this party." And the daughter was really in tune with the fact that, okay, there's something going on here because she hit the wall at the parking lot when they were shopping in the garage or something. And so, yeah, that was a fascinating case study there.
And again, what I really like is being able to be in the patient's parents' shoes and seeing what they see.
Yes.
I think that's just a really powerful way to tell the story, and you can just really relate with what they're going through.
Okay, because you've got the other couple that comes in with the unique diagnosis that I had not heard before, LBD. And so this
Lesbian
couple,
bed death.
Lesbian
that was
bed death.
very unique
And
there.
apparently it actually does exist. It really is true. Yeah.
Oh,
It-
that's
it
our
can
medical-
happen. Our medical fun fact of the
Fun
night.
fact. Thank you very much, Jade, for that. Yeah.
Anytime, Mindy, anytime.
And then Claire is now an imposter because of a recent concussion. So that was kind of interesting that a concussion could make her not understand who is right in front of her.
Right, but she can hearing the voice, and she does. If you don't see the person and you hear the voice, then you recognize them completely. Like you've never forgotten who they were, but once they come in front of you,
And they
even
see
with the
you
voice,
visually.
they visually see you. They don't know who you are anymore.
Have you guys ever had a concussion? I have to ask.
No,
I haven't, luckily.
I have.
Have you?
Yeah, I was riding my bike in junior high. This is a real quick story. Tangent time.
Is there a segment for that, like the tangent music?
I need to make a So yeah, somebody found me laying on the side of the road, and I had blood covered on my head, and ended up hauling in an ambulance all the way to the hospital. And anyway, it was a big ordeal. I can go into it if you want to tweet me. I'll tell you the full story. Okay.
There you go.
And 140 characters or less, though. Twitter limits you.
Hey, it's a really cool story.
It sounds awesome. Well, it's only awesome because you're fine now. You're here.
Yeah.
You're here with us.
Oh, well, thank you. Everybody's got their war stories, I
Exactly,
suppose.
we
Yeah,
all do.
that was a mild one for me. All right. So, where are we headed right now? We're headed to favorite scenes and favorite moments. Teresa, do you have any other just favorite things you have to sort of unleash? And I want to hear your favorite moments at home. So please let me know what those are as well.
Again, I really do like that scene between Esme and Dr. Black, when Dr. Black is really just rooting for Reagan and trying to get Esme to understand that, she is her mother. And I loved how they segued to that. They were talking about Capgras delusion and how, your mother is not your mother as an example. And then that segued into Esme saying, just like how I think my mother's not my mother because we're so
Ooh, that was
similar. I think that was a really smooth
and
way.
she felt like she may be adopted.
Right.
Right. That was.
Instinctively.
Yeah.
How dare you? No, you're not adopted.
So I loved how the show did that. And I think that was just like the emotional heart of the episode. And, the acting from Kelly Riley is just, very stirring. And
And we didn't really see the bipolar episodes as much tonight.
No, it took a backseat.
I think she was staying on her meds, and so everything progressed in the relationship when she and Will decided to commit to one another, or she accepted, rather, the proposal.
I love how he kept it in his back pocket in his jeans, just waiting for that moment that she's going to say yes. when she's like, she wakes up, she goes, "I love you," and then he goes, like, "1 second, finally, I'm so glad I kept this in my pocket."
Right.
That was great.
Right. Now, I think he's got somebody on the leash, though, for those moments of revenge. He's going to learn how to play this.
That's a good way
and
of
Homie's going to play
putting
this
that.
game a certain way.
Oh yeah.
yeah, no, that's a good way of putting it because
is.
Delilah is really his like secret weapon.
And
And it gets to her. He knows that now. It makes her skin crawl. Just
He
the
should
thought of
be
it.
more mature than that and not,
But maybe that's
But what's the
why.
fun in that, you
in
know?
the first episode, he said, "I kind of liked it. I liked it when you had that episode." So maybe he was not just referring to that, but maybe he really likes having a dysfunctional relationship.
okay, maybe there's some trauma bonding going on there.
He did
where
say his father was an alcoholic.
Yes, he did.
So maybe it stems from that.
there is a big daddy wound, an abandonment wound
Daddy,
there.
hashtag daddy issues.
All right, so I'm thinking this was a really great show tonight, and Let's see.
What was your favorite?
Yeah, you didn't tell us yours. Mindy, you can't just ask us the questions and then not tell us yours.
Yeah, I really enjoyed learning some about the inner spatial neglect in the brain. I always love it when they show the brain scans and what are we really dealing with here. And it's thinking outside of the box.
Dun dun. Oh,
No
Ba-dum, boom,
pun
ching.
intended.
But with the pun intended.
Yeah, I really didn't mean that. That was off the cuff.
That was
Cha-ching.
good.
All right.
Yeah.
I have to say that this episode, everything went really smoothly. Like she was on her meds, patients, it turned out to be fine. Nothing like super crazy happened. So I think it's building up to the next episode, where it's just going to be like, full blown.
But I think we needed to see that, her not having an episode, because it would be so redundant and it would be boring to continuously see. We would just be able to predict it, and she's supposed to be unpredictable.
Right.
So I love that, because I thought, oh, she's gonna have an episode, something's gonna be bad, something's gonna happen where she doesn't want to take her medicine and it triggers her. So it was actually nice to see her fully just on normal mode.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a good contrast for when she does get into a manic episode. So
Exactly.
we can kind of compare and
Gives you that
contrast.
roller coaster.
And we saw that he has that distrust. Oh, were you off your meds when she had that encounter with? So I had to
And
sort
she
of
said,
touch on
"Don't
that.
you ever say that to me again."
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because that's he really injured her by questioning her in that moment. And so it's that fine line of, do you ask somebody if they're on their meds? I think he wasn't gracious.
I think he's
more
learning.
accusatory.
He's learning the boundaries. She's setting the boundaries of, this is what you can and can't ask me, and no, you don't ask me that. And I think that was also a way for them to build on their communication, because strong relationship has good communication. And I think you also see them still trying to make it work even though they're dysfunctional. So I liked that part too.
Now, Kelly Riley is actually starring in a movie right now that's done very well at the box office called Heaven is for Real. Have you guys seen that?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I was totally blown away. I've already had to see it twice.
Twice.
Yeah, because she is just an incredible actress, and she's got a hit movie that's been doing very well at the box office, along with some other faith-based films. It's definitely a niche out there. Son of God, there's God's Not Dead, and so these films are making around more than $50 million right now at the box office. It's worth mentioning.
And the budget's really low for these as well. So I think it's great to see like the return. You don't have to spend $80 million on a film and $20 million on marketing and then pull in $40 million. You can literally do a movie for like $2 million and make, like you said, make a lot of money in the box office.
And the son in the movie had an experience. Kelly Riley's son in the movie, he had an experience of he was like on the operating table. So it was sort of fascinating to see her playing a mother, and just some of once you get sort of attached to these actors, right? You want to see them and these
you
other.
do.
And so I totally loved that movie. And Randall Wallace is the director. I met him not too long ago, and he also wrote Pearl Harbor and Braveheart, so you may know him from that. And I think you can feel his director, just the art going on. And so anyway, I was totally into it.
You're a fan. Keep going.
I'm totally a fan. And he is a really amazing, extraordinary writer and then director, depicting heaven, and it just was out of this world.
Now
There
I
you
want to
go.
go see it.
Yeah, I really
I do
enjoy
wanna
her
see it
performance.
now.
If you like her performance, I would say definitely hit that at the theater. And then also T.D. Jakes is a producer. T.D. Jakes, does a lot on Oprah, and then so I had to watch one of his messages about getting in the other dimension, and so I just totally was enjoying all of that. Anyway, so you can count on me to go on these tangents every once in a while. And
I told you I'm gonna find some theme music for it.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna
Tangent music.
Tangent music.
it's fun though. It's fun to see what the actors are doing and how
definitely. There's more that it's good to see them doing other things, to know that they're working and that they have
Right.
other projects going on or other causes that mean a lot to them.
And I wouldn't be a fan of Black Box if I did not mention Vanessa Redgrave.
Yeah.
Totally an incredible. We didn't get to see much of her tonight.
No, we didn't. But I think once again, it's nice to get a little break from certain things that you're expecting, because you become so dependent on it, and then you
It
predict
becomes
it.
too formulaic.
Exactly, and then you're not into it anymore. That's They're doing the right thing.
Right. She's been
Definitely.
acting for decades, so I look forward to seeing her. I want to see more of her.
She's a good actress.
I love those scenes with the two of them because when Vanessa Redgrave's character is giving her advice, it's like general advice for everyone, and I kind of take it in. I'm like, oh, you're right.
Yeah,
That's why you should
exactly.
do
I feel like I'm getting like a free session. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's true.
So where do you think their relationship? Are we ready? Let's do it. How about the predictions?
Should we do?
And now,
Let's
your
do it.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So pretty.
I know. It's cool being in a different set.
So where is their relationship headed? Vanessa Redgrave and Dr. Catherine Black. Do you believe that there's going to be perpetual patterns that are consistent, and is the goal sort of to stay alive, or where is this headed with their relationship and the disorder that everyone's trying to cope with in that relationship?
Well, I really feel that Dr. Black sees Vanessa Redgrave's character as a mother figure. So I don't really think that she could be without her.
Yeah, she's basically her safety net and guides her through life.
She's the mother that she
She's
never
a
had.
voice of reason for her.
Exactly.
That's really
And she doesn't
interesting.
always listen to her and take her advice, just like, a
Any-
child doesn't always listen to their
Exactly.
mother.
It's like if your mom says, don't put your hand on there, it's hot. And then you just put your hand on it anyways. Ooh, it's hot. And I told you so. And then you go to your mom to bandage up your wound for you. So I feel that's the same relationship that her and her therapist have.
So that could be fascinating to see if she's not around, what could happen to Dr. Catherine Black's character. Okay, so I'm making a prediction that will be down the road as well. Do you have any predictions, Jade, tonight?
Mindy, I think I do. I think that Esme is bipolar. I don't think she might. I'm sure that she is bipolar. And I know for a fact that she is not going to cope very well with it. And she's going to feel very betrayed. And even Dr. Black's close relationship that she's worked so hard to have with her is going to be completely lost.
Yeah, that's going to be a serious, impactful thing to the entire family. Anytime that family secret, boom, everybody is
It's not going to end
reaching.
well. There's no way that's going to end well.
right. Teresa, what is your prediction tonight?
So I see a lot of trouble in the love area. I think this episode set up a lot of that. So I think we're going to see Delilah come back, and who knows what's going to happen, but I think it's going to escalate. I mean, things were pretty bad when we saw them last. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Will and Delilah still work together, so they're going to be seeing each other on a daily basis. So.
Delilah does not look like she's trying to go anywhere.
No.
Okay, talk to
They're
me
both
about-
trying to mark their territory.
Exactly. They both are.
Right. Now, what is Will's position at the restaurant?
He's a chef.
Okay, he is a chef.
And she's a
She's
hostess.
a hostess.
And she is the hostess with the mostest. Okay.
Apparently.
And
giving
she's
out all her goodies.
20 years old. And
I
that was something Will
know.
stated from the beginning.
She better take her silverware and get on out of there.
That's something you don't do. You don't
rub
tell-
that in.
You don't rub that in like, oh, her, yeah, she's younger than you.
20.
What? So?
So he needs to be a little bit more mature.
Yes, he
and
definitely needs
not make it a competition like
No.
he seems to be.
But he likes the competition, so.
Okay.
And then I think we're going to see, more of the Dr. Black and Dr. Bickman relationship develop. I mean, there's been a lot of flirtation going on, and we've seen them really just be in sync with their patients. And, I think that's just going to really take their relationship to another level.
Right. And the fact that they are both these massive risk takers, they go out of the bounds. And is that going to get them in trouble at some point?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I see that completely happening because it's almost as if their chemistry, like you were saying, Teresa, they have it, but they want to deny it. They don't want to admit it that maybe they are meant for each other.
Dr. Black more so than Bickman.
Okay.
She's very much like denying and keeping him at
Oh, yeah,
bay. Obviously because, Will, but then you can see there's a part of her that
Yes.
wants to give in to that. So I think that's going to be the most
Can't
fun
wait to
watch.
see that.
All right,
unfold.
Well, that's going to do it for tonight. But before we close, I tell you what, we're going to do a little wrap up here and share our Twitter addresses so that you can stay in touch with us. We want you to connect. We want to hear from you. And you know what? We're only in the 3rd episode. We got a lot more to go
We
this
do.
season.
We're just getting started.
That's right. Let's get this party started. So stay with us. Jade, how can they reach you?
You can find me on Twitter at Real Jade's World.
You can find me on Twitter at Teresa Law.
And you can find me on Twitter at Mindy Charlotte. So please stay in touch. Let us know all your thoughts and connect. And you know what? I hope you have a great week. We'll see you next week here, same time, same place.
Same time, same place,
we'll be
or
here.
iTunes and YouTube.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.